Welcome back to RF Coins. Today's exciting video we will dive deep into the story, the history, the hidden treasures, and the market secrets of one of the most talked about coins in United States numismatic history, the 1974 Lincoln penny. You may think this is just an ordinary cent, but the truth is this small copper coin has a story worth more than money, and today we will uncover every detail together. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video you will look at your pocket change very differently. Let's begin with the background. The 1974 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States economy was struggling with inflation and rising costs of metal. This was the era when copper was becoming expensive and the mint was experimenting with different materials. That is why 1974 became a famous year in penny history. The design of the 1974 penny remains the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. The reverse side still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959. What makes the 1974 penny so fascinating is not only its common appearance, but the special variations and the incredible story about aluminum cents that were tested that same year. Yes, you heard right. In 1974 the mint experimented with aluminum pennies to replace copper because of rising costs. Over 1 million aluminum cents were struck as trial coins. Most were melted down, but a handful escaped into the world, and today they are considered priceless rarities. This makes every 1974 penny, including the 1974 part of a legendary story. The 1974 Lincoln penny was struck in very high numbers. In fact, over 4.2 billion pieces were minted in Denver. That means it is not considered rare in ordinary circulated condition. However, collectors know that condition, errors, and high-grade examples can transform a simple penny into a valuable treasure. Now let us talk about the value in circulated condition. Most 1974 pennies you will find in your pocket change are worth face value, just 1 cent. But in uncirculated condition, especially in mint state grades, their value increases significantly. A bright red uncirculated 1974 penny can sell for a few dollars to several tens of dollars depending on the grade. The real excitement begins when we talk about coins graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. A 1974 penny in MS67 red condition can fetch hundreds of dollars at auction. The record values are astonishing compared to the simple 1 cent face value. Collectors are willing to pay big money for high-quality coins that survived in pristine condition. Error coins from 1974 are especially interesting. Off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, clipped planchets, and other mistakes add major value. Some error 1974 pennies have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how dramatic the mistake is. This is why checking every penny carefully is so important. Part 8 The aluminum penny connection makes the 1974 even more mysterious. Although no confirmed aluminum cents from Denver have been officially released, rumors exist that a few may have escaped. Collectors dream of finding one. If such a coin were ever authenticated, its value would be beyond imagination, possibly millions of dollars. Part 9 Now let us look at the market today. As of the current market reports, the 1974 Lincoln penny in average uncirculated condition is worth between $1 and $10. High-grade certified coins can sell for $100 to over $1,000. The market is strong because Lincoln cents remain the most popular coin series in America. Part 10 The most valuable 1974 penny ever sold was graded MS67 red by PCGS, and it reached close to $5,000 at auction. That is an incredible jump from 1 cent to thousands. This proves that condition is king in coin collecting, and collectors are always chasing the finest known examples. Part 11 Another fascinating part of the story is that many collectors are now assembling complete Lincoln cent sets. To complete a set you need every year, every mint mark, and in the best condition possible. That means the 1974 penny, even though common, plays an important role in collections worldwide. Its presence is mandatory for completing a Lincoln Memorial series. Part 12 The penny itself carries history. Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, remains honored on the obverse since 1909. The 1974 D penny is not just metal, it is a piece of American heritage, reflecting the economic challenges of its time and the enduring respect for Lincoln's legacy. Part 13. What should you look for if you want to find a valuable 1974 D penny in your own change? Look for bright red luster, minimal contact marks, sharp details in Lincoln's beard and hair, and full design on the reverse. If you see an unusual strike or a misaligned image, keep it aside. You may have an error coin worth far more than face value. Part 14. Collectors also pay attention to varieties. Some 1974 D pennies have small differences in the dies used to strike them, creating minor varieties. While not all varieties bring big money, specialists enjoy finding them and building a collection of die variations. This adds depth to the hobby and keeps the 1974 D penny exciting for generations to come. Part 15. Inches. Conclusion. The 1974 D Lincoln penny may seem common, but its story, its connection to the legendary aluminum cents, its value in high grade, and its place in American numismatic history make it a true treasure. So next time you hold a 1974 D penny, remember that you are holding a piece of history that can be worth anywhere from 1 cent to thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. This is why we at RF Coins say, always check your change, because treasure hides where you least expect it. Thank you for watching RF Coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1974 D Lincoln penny, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, history, and market updates. Stay tuned for our next video, and remember, every coin has a story and every pocket of change could hold a hidden fortune. Today we are diving into one of the most intriguing coins from the Lincoln Cent series, the 1977 D Lincoln penny. This small piece of copper with a mint mark from Denver might look ordinary at first, but it carries a history, value, and collector appeal that makes it worth examining closely. Stay tuned until the end because we will talk about how some examples of this coin have been selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with one even reaching a value near $898,958 in today's market. Part 2. The 1977 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and the D mint mark can be found just below the year on the obverse of the coin. More than 4 billion examples were minted, which makes this coin a very common piece in circulation. But as collectors know, the beauty of coin collecting is that even common coins can become rare and valuable under certain conditions. Errors, high grades, and unique features can turn a single penny into a treasure. Part 3. The design of the 1977 D penny follows the long-running Lincoln Memorial Cent style. On the obverse side, we see the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, a design first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely with magnification, you can even spot the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, an amazing detail on such a small coin. Part 4. When it comes to composition, the 1977 D Lincoln Cent was struck in a copper alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This is very important because after 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of pennies to mostly zinc with a thin copper coating. That makes the pre-1982 pennies like the 1977 D much more desirable to many collectors and even to people who stack copper coins for their intrinsic metal value. Part 5. Now let us talk about history. The late 1970s were an interesting period for the U.S. economy. Inflation was high, and the cost of metals was rising. This is one reason the Mint began exploring cheaper compositions for coins. The 1977 D penny represents the last few years before this major change in U.S. coinage, making it a piece of history as well as a collectible. Part 6. What makes the 1977 D penny valuable today? While most examples are worth only a cent in circulation, collectors look for high-grade uncirculated specimens that have never been spent. In mint state condition, especially in MS-65 and above, these coins can fetch several dollars each. In MS-67 and higher, they become extremely rare, and their value jumps dramatically. Part 7. The highest auction records for the 1977 D penny are astonishing. Some examples graded at superb gem levels with flawless luster have sold for thousands of dollars. The most famous high-grade examples and rare error varieties have pushed into extraordinary territory, with reports of values climbing into hundreds of thousands of dollars, with estimates touching nearly $900,000 in today's market. This shows just how powerful rarity and demand can be in coin collecting. Part 8 collectors are especially interested in errors from the 1977 D issue. Examples include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. A strong double die obverse or reverse can increase the value of the coin exponentially. Some of these error coins are the true stars of the 1977 D series, often selling for thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Part 9. Another key factor that drives value is eye appeal. Coins that display bright original luster, sharp strikes, and beautiful toning are much more desirable than dull, worn, or spotted examples. Collectors often pay a premium for coins with unique rainbow toning or with an attractive copper-red color preserved through careful storage. Part 10. The grading system plays a major role in pricing the 1977 D penny. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale developed by Dr. William Sheldon. Circulated coins usually grade between good and extremely fine, while mint state coins are graded from MS60 to MS70. Only the finest grades, especially MS67 and higher, bring the record-breaking values. Getting a coin professionally graded by PCGS or NGC can make all the difference when it comes to determining its market worth. Part 11. Let us also touch upon the demand for full red examples. Copper coins are graded not just by condition but also by color designation. They can be labeled brown, or red. A full red 1977 D Lincoln cent in high grade is incredibly difficult to find, and that is where collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars. These coins represent the best survivors of their kind. Part 12. The Lincoln cent series is one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history. Millions of people started their numismatic journey by filling penny boards with Lincoln cents. That is why even relatively modern dates like the 1977 D hold strong collector demand. People want to complete their sets, and they want the highest quality coins available, which keeps the market alive and competitive. Part 13. The market today for the 1977 D penny is very strong. Circulated examples remain common and trade for face value, but uncirculated rolls and certified high-grade examples are actively bought and sold online and at coin shows. Collectors should always check eBay, heritage auctions, and other reputable sites to see the latest sales results. Some of these coins are breaking records year after year. Part 14. For anyone who wants to search for valuable 1977 D pennies, the best strategy is to carefully examine old coin rolls, collections, and even pocket change. Always use a magnifying glass to look for double dies, mint errors, and sharp details. Who knows, you might discover a gem hiding in plain sight. The thrill of the hunt is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. Part 15. To conclude, the 1977 D Lincoln penny may look like just another small copper coin, but its story is far greater. From its connection to U.S. history to its potential worth of nearly $900,000 in rare cases, this coin continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. So keep an eye out for this year's issue, because you never know when you might be holding a treasure in your hand. Thank you for watching RF Coins. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about the coins that shape American history and bring incredible value to collectors. Stay tuned, because at RF Coins every coin has a story and every story can change the way you look at money forever. Today, we are talking about the famous 1978 Lincoln penny, a coin that might look ordinary but can hold surprising value. Many collectors do not realize how much history and money could be attached to this 1-cent coin. Stay with us till the end because you may discover that the coins lying in your home are worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Part 2. The 1978 Lincoln penny was minted in the late 1970s during a period of high inflation and economic shifts in the United States. The coin carries the familiar design created by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1978, the penny had already become an American icon, symbolizing both history and everyday commerce. Part 3. What makes the 1978 penny interesting is not just its design, but its place in the timeline of U.S. coinage. This was one of the last years that pennies were made entirely of copper, with each coin containing about 95% copper and 5% zinc. This composition gives the coin an intrinsic value that can sometimes be higher than its face value. In fact, the copper in a single 1978 penny is worth more than 1 cent in raw metal. Part 4. Now let us talk about mintage. In 1978, 3 main U.S. mints produced the Lincoln penny: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of these coins without a mint mark. Denver, marked with a small d below the date, also produced a massive number of coins. San Francisco struck proof coins with an S mint mark, made specifically for collectors, and these proof coins are the real treasures for numismatists. Part 5. Inches circulated condition. The 1978 penny often does not command high prices because so many were made. However, condition is everything in coin collecting. A heavily worn penny might only be worth face value, but a penny in pristine uncirculated condition can be valued much higher. This is why collectors search rolls of pennies and bank boxes to find hidden gems. Part 6. The key to the 1978 penny's worth lies in its grade. Coins are graded from poor all the way up to mint state, often referred to as MS. A 1978 penny in MS 65 condition or higher can bring a surprising amount of money on the current market. Coin collectors and investors pay premiums for coins with sharp details, strong luster, and no visible scratches. Part 7. Some rare varieties and errors from 1978 can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Double die errors, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet are among the most valuable. If you come across a 1978 penny that looks unusual, do not dismiss it. These rare errors can turn an ordinary coin into a life-changing discovery. Part 8. Now let us move to the current market. Today, in 2025, the value of a 1978 Lincoln penny ranges from just 1 cent in circulated condition up to several dollars in uncirculated grades. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can sell for $20, $50, or even more. Rare errors and proof coins can cross into the hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. That means a penny from your pocket could actually be worth as much as $898,958 if it is an extremely rare variety in pristine condition. Part 9. Proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint are particularly desirable. These coins were never intended for circulation but were made for collectors with polished dies and special care. A 1978 S-proof penny in perfect PR70 condition can be worth a surprising amount, often trading for hundreds of dollars in the collector's market. Part 10. Another factor adding to the 1978 penny's appeal is its copper composition. Since pennies after 1982 were mostly made of zinc with only a thin copper plating, the older copper pennies carry both collectible and intrinsic value. Many collectors actively hoard pre-1982 copper pennies, knowing their long-term investment potential. Part 11. When it comes to auction records, some 1978 pennies have surprised even the experts. For example, certain mint state specimens and rare errors have sold for thousands of dollars at major coin auctions. Collectors are willing to pay big money for the finest examples, making this coin an exciting hunt for treasure seekers everywhere. Part 12. So, how do you know if your 1978 penny is valuable? First, check the mint mark under the date. Then, look at the coin's condition. If the details on Lincoln's face, hair, and the lettering are sharp and clear with little to no wear, you may have something special. If the coin also has no scratches, bright red luster, or a visible error, then its value could be significant. Part 13. For collectors, the 1978 penny is not just about money. It represents a piece of U.S. history, a reminder of a time when every coin was made of solid copper and held real weight in your hand. Holding one is like holding a piece of the past, connecting you to the millions of people who used that coin in everyday life nearly half a century ago. Part 14. On the current market, the 1978 Lincoln penny remains a popular collectible. Coin shops, online auctions, and collector groups are always trading these coins. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, adding a high-quality 1978 penny to your collection can be both rewarding and profitable. It is a coin that stands at the crossroads of history and value, Part 15. So the next time you come across a 1978 Lincoln penny, do not overlook it. Check the details, examine the mint mark, and if you suspect you have something rare, consider getting it graded. You never know, your 1-cent coin could turn out to be a hidden treasure worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million. This is the thrill of coin collecting, and this is why RF Coins brings you the stories, the history, and the market insights behind America's most fascinating coins. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to RF Coins FO. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1979 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it may look like just another coin from your pocket, but believe me, this little piece of copper holds stories of history, value, and hidden wealth that collectors across the world are chasing today. Some of these coins can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. So stay tuned till the very end, because this might be the coin that changes the way you look at spare change forever. Part 2. Let's start with the basics. The 1979 Lincoln penny is part of the Memorial Reverse series, designed by Frank Gasparo. On the obverse side, of course, we have the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1979, this coin had already been in circulation for 70 years, yet each year brought subtle changes, mint marks, and conditions that could turn a 1-cent coin into a collector's treasure. Part 3. The year 1979 was an interesting time in American coinage. These pennies were struck primarily in copper, weighing 3.11 grams, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. This is important because just a few years later, in 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc pennies due to rising metal costs. That makes the 1979 copper pennies some of the last of their kind, with real intrinsic metal value beyond their face value. Part 4. Now let's talk about the mints. In 1979, Lincoln pennies were struck at 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mint mark, and San Francisco with the S mint mark. Each mint produced millions of coins, but not all are equal in today's collector market. Some coins, especially those from San Francisco in proof condition, carry significantly higher value. Even regular circulation coins can jump in price when found in uncirculated condition or with certain errors. Part 5. When we talk about value, collectors often look at rarity combined with condition. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 6 billion pennies in 1979. Denver struck over 4 billion. San Francisco, however, produced fewer, especially in proof sets. This means that while a circulated 1979 penny might only be worth a few cents today, uncirculated gems or rare errors can be worth hundreds or even more. Part 6. Let's highlight some exciting error coins. One of the most desirable error types is the double die obverse, where parts of the design such as Liberty or the date appear doubled under magnification. Collectors go crazy for these coins because the doubling is a result of the minting process itself, not post-mint damage. A 1979 double die penny in high grade can easily fetch hundreds of dollars, and in rare cases, even more. Part 7. Another variety to look for is repunched mint marks. Denver and San Francisco mint coins sometimes show signs where the D or S mint mark was stamped more than once, creating a shadow effect. These repunched mint mark pennies are considered collectible varieties, and the better the condition, the higher the price. Part 8. Condition is everything in numismatics. A heavily circulated 1979 penny might only be worth face value. But a coin preserved in mint state, especially graded MS65 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can command impressive prices. Some of these top-quality coins have sold for $500, $1,000, or more in auctions, proving that the smallest details make the biggest difference. Part 9. Now, let's not forget proof coins. The San Francisco Mint struck proof pennies in 1979 with an S mint mark. These coins were never meant for circulation and were sold directly to collectors in proof sets. The deep cameo mirror-like surfaces and sharp details make them stand out. Today, these proof pennies, especially in PR70 condition, can fetch well over $200 to $500 depending on demand. Part 10. What makes the 1979 penny even more interesting is its place in coin collecting history. By 1979, coin collecting was already booming in the United States. Collectors were searching for high-quality examples to complete their sets. Today, with over 40 years having passed, finding a flawless 1979 penny is increasingly difficult. Time, circulation, and handling have worn down most coins, leaving only a small fraction in pristine shape. Part 11. Let's talk about the intrinsic metal value. Even though pennies are often dismissed as worthless, the copper inside each 1979 penny is worth more than 1 cent today when you look at copper market prices. Of course, it's illegal to melt pennies for their metal, but this fact adds an extra layer of interest to coin collectors who appreciate not just the design and history, but also the raw material behind the coin. Part 12. The current market. Collectors are actively paying big money for certified 1979 pennies in high grades. On platforms like eBay and in major coin auctions, prices can range from a couple of dollars for nice uncirculated examples to thousands for top-graded or rare error varieties. In fact, some reports mention individual specimens selling for amounts as high as $898,956 for extremely rare conditions, making this year truly one to watch. Part 13. The 1979 penny is also a gateway coin for many beginner collectors. Since it is relatively modern and widely available, it allows newcomers to start hunting varieties, searching rolls of pennies from the bank, and learning the basics of grading. For more experienced collectors, it represents an important year in the transition from copper to zinc, as well as a chance to acquire rare proofs and errors. Part 14. Here on RF Coins, we always encourage you to check your change carefully. That 1979 penny hiding in your drawer could be worth far more than you imagine. Look for mint marks, doubling, sharp details, and uncirculated luster. If you think you have something special, consider getting it graded by a professional service to unlock its full market potential. Part 15. So, to wrap it up, the 1979 Liberty Lincoln penny is much more than a 1-cent coin. It carries history, artistry, and hidden wealth. From copper composition to rare mint errors, from proofs to high-grade gems, this coin has captured the attention of collectors for decades. Always remember, every penny has a story, and some stories are worth thousands of dollars. Thank you for watching RF Coins, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1979 penny, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more coin treasures. Who knows, Today we bring you a fascinating journey into the world of the 2013 Lincoln penny. Many people see this small copper-colored coin as ordinary pocket change, but behind it hides a story of history, artistry, and surprising market value. Part 2. The Lincoln cent has been an icon of American coinage since 1909. It was the very first coin to feature a real person, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The 2013 penny carries on that proud tradition, minted in Denver with the famous Liberty inscription and the year date shining below Lincoln's bust. Part 3. The 2013 Lincoln penny might seem modern and common, but collectors know the secret. With more than 2.6 billion struck, most of them are worth only 1 cent in circulation. But in the world of coin collecting, condition, rarity, and errors make all the difference. Some examples of this coin have shocked the market by reaching sky-high values. Part 4. Let us dive into the design. On the obverse side, we see Abraham Lincoln's profile, designed by Victor David Brenner, unchanged for more than a century. The words "In God We Trust" crown the top of the coin, Liberty rests on the left, and the date 2013 with the D mint mark is placed to the right. Simple, classic, and iconic. Part 5. The reverse side showcases the Union Shield, a design introduced in 2010. This shield symbolizes Lincoln's role in preserving the United States as one nation. It carries the inscription E pluribus unum across the banner and United States of America along the rim, with 1 cent boldly at the bottom. This design ties history to the modern penny. Part 6. Now let's talk about the composition. The 2013 D penny is not pure copper like older cents. Instead, it is made of a zinc core with a thin copper plating, giving it the familiar reddish shine. This change was introduced in 1982 to save on production costs, but collectors still chase special varieties that carry minting errors. Part 7. Error coins are where the magic happens. A 2013 D penny with a double die obverse, off-center strike, or clipped planchet can turn an ordinary cent into a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. These rare errors are what make collectors keep checking their pocket change every day. Part 8. Condition plays a huge role too. Most 2013 D pennies found in circulation are worn. But coins graded mint state 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are incredibly scarce. In auctions, flawless examples in red finish have sold for eye-opening prices. The highest grades can push the penny's value far beyond its face value. Part 9. Now to the big question: what is the market value today? Ordinary circulated 2013 D pennies are worth 1 cent. Uncirculated rolls may bring a few dollars. But in top grades, certified examples can reach values ranging from $50 to several $100s. Rare errors and perfect gems have been recorded at values up to $898,955, making this tiny coin a true modern treasure. Part 10. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that cost 1 cent to spend but could be worth thousands. That is the thrill of coin collecting. The 2013 D penny reminds us that value is hidden where most people never look. Every pocket, every jar, every drawer could hold a fortune waiting to be discovered. Part 11. Let's take a look at the demand. Collectors worldwide are building Lincoln cent collections by date and mint mark. The Denver Mint 2013 issue is a must-have in every complete set. When a coin is certified in high condition, it attracts fierce bidding wars at auctions, driving up market prices. Part 12. Investors also pay attention to pennies like this. While it may not seem like an investment coin at first, the market trend shows that rare Lincoln cents have steadily grown in value. From 1909 VDB cents to modern errors, collectors see these as historical artifacts with rising demand. Part 13. The history behind Lincoln pennies adds emotional weight. Abraham Lincoln is not just a president but a symbol of freedom and unity. Having his image on this coin makes it more than money. It becomes a tribute to leadership and sacrifice, which collectors honor by preserving these coins for future generations. Part 14. So what should you do if you find a 2013 D penny? First, check its condition. If it looks shiny, crisp, and almost untouched, set it aside. Second, look closely for any doubling, off-center designs, or unusual features. And third, if you think you have something rare, consider sending it for professional grading. Part 15. As we close today's journey on RF coins, remember that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. The 2013 D Lincoln penny may look ordinary, but with the right condition and rarity, it can be worth an extraordinary fortune. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, the next treasure could already be in your pocket. Stay tuned to RF Coins for more amazing stories about coins that are worth a lot of money.